So as you can see in the background, we've come to a test. We're in Sweet Lamb, one of the most famous testing venues in the UK, probably in the world. Everyone has heard of Sweet Lamb. So we're lucky enough to be allowed to join on to this test. We're going to bring the Micra, which I'll show you in a minute. We've done a load of mods to it to turn it into a gravel car basically. So we've lifted the suspension, we put different springs on the back, we've removed the anti-roll bar, we put bigger, chunkier tyres, a smaller diameter wheel. What else have we done? That's about it. But you've seen in a previous episode where we did all that, so go and have a look at that now, and then come back to here and watch this. Just had a little spin around the bowl. That feels good, feels like a Micra, like it should do. Might drop the pressures down a little bit more on the back because it feels a little bit hard on the back, but otherwise feels like a gravel car so far. So we'll have a bit of a cup of tea now, and then we'll do some more later on. So our little 1300 Micra has started off life as a tarmac car. We did a tarmac test and we did a tarmac rally. We then converted it into a gravel car, and today we are doing a tarmac test. This is Sweet Lamb. I've spent hours and hours going around these roads with various people testing, mainly with Geoff, who we're here today with. So I do know these stages pretty well, but I haven't driven a Micra around here for a long time. So I got a little feel of it down in the bowl there, just to make sure I'm happy with it. It did feel a little bit loose on the back, but then again, Micras do. We'll have a go on the stage now. I've dropped the pressures a little bit, so the pressures are a little bit lower, so hopefully that'll give me a little bit more grip, and maybe it'll be a little bit more stable on the back. So, yeah. I'll do a loop now and then I'll talk you through the next one. Don't lift, they say, don't lift. Nice ruts to use there, thank you for the other boys. On the brakes, hard on the brakes. Little slide out, use the ruts, look for the exit. Keep off the loose. So we can try the gravel suspension. Oh, yeah, it works alright. We're not going to get massive air over these jumps, but that's enough, that's alright. Not too close to the fence. This is the scary bit, going downhill. Got to make sure your brakes work going down here. Bit of a blind crest there, and it gets a bit loose all the way down here really. until the braking point right at the bottom. Then just let it keep in the ruts. That's where the grip is. Round for another loop now. Up the hill. This is where the Micra dies because it just haven't got the power of most cars. The top crest, the sweet lamb, everyone knows this. Keep it flat. Then we got a long left-hander. Stab on the brakes, turn in. Use that rut that the other cars have made. Then on the brakes. This one's an open corner, so you can just keep going. You can see the exit. Just keep aiming for that exit and use the ruts where the grip is. Anything out of the rut is going to be really loose, so you'll have no grip. It's a big box here, so try not to get a puncture. The lamp's really nice, really happy with that. Third gear's probably, I'd say that third gear is alright actually. This is where it gets onto the loose. Down the hill, make sure your brakes are working because you do not want to go straight on there. Keep into the rut. Through the gate here, normally a big crowd there on a rally. Now this is quite nice now, you come out of this corner, little jump sideways, there we go. Up the hill, come on, give it some beans, boy. Give it some beans. Over the crest. As fast as the little Micra can go. There we go, set it up for the corner. Can't beat that really, it's flipping fun. There we go, find the grip. Over this blind crest now, but follow the road round. Tightens up a little bit, keeping the ruts. Went into third then when I didn't need to. There we go, we'll have third now. Bogs down a little bit in third. I think second is the best gear, but surprising how much you drive a Micra with a little bit of rear sliding. It does mean you can set the car up really nicely. I got the bias more or less in the middle, so I mean, not too much braking at the back end. But I have got a disc axle, so braking will be better than with a drum axle that these normally have. So I've got to say that is a successful first outing on gravel. It did exactly what I thought it was going to do, to be honest. The suspension was the bit that I wasn't quite sure about. You know, I wanted to test that because all I've done is lifted the front and I put a different set of springs on the back. So I wanted to make sure that was all right and it didn't crash too hard on the jumps, and it didn't. It landed lovely. It was just like driving my gravel Micra. This one seems a little bit more tail happy. I think maybe I could put a spare wheel in just to keep the back planted a bit more. Or, I mean, I've got quite a lot of fuel in it, so I thought that would kind of keep the back balanced. Or maybe I could drop the pressures yet again. but I think I don't want to go too low with the pressures. Maybe a bit more weight over the back axle would be the way of getting it to just be a bit more stable. But to be honest, it's really predictable. I mean, I'm coming into corners, dabbing the brakes, setting it up, and it is sliding in, and it is. I can control it. It's just nicer to have it maybe a little bit more stable. But yeah, wow, yeah, that was great. Yeah, I mean, it works. I could easily do a rally in this car now. So yeah, but it's really good to have a good test and make sure it does exactly what we want it to do. So yeah, I can't say that I can do any better than that, really. That is perfect. Really good, really happy. Right, so we've been around the loop, we've been around this bowl area. Now on the loop, I was trying to explain to some people, so it's easier if I show you. So when you're doing a gravel rally, if you can see here, this base layer here, where you can see the base layer there, that's where your grip is, that's where you want your wheels. So as I'm going around the stage up the top, I'm saying on camera, I'm saying, right, I need to be in the ruts because that's where the grip is. If you go out of the grip, out of the rut, you get onto this stuff, which is what the cars have thrown to the side. And on that, well, that's not grippy. That's loose. If you try and turn in on that, you're just going to go straight on. If you get your back end on it, then the back end's going to slide out. So you want to stay off that and on the grip. Now, sometimes you'll come to a corner and that won't necessarily be the line you want, but you'll have to take it because that's where the grip is. So that's what one thing that people don't really realise when they're doing stage rallying on gravel is you can't really pick or choose your own line around the stage. You need to use the lines that have been left by the other cars, because otherwise this stuff will just throw you off into the ditch. So that's what I'm saying when I'm saying keep in the ditches, keep in the ruts. The ruts are just where the other cars have been, so try and stay there. That's where you get maximum grip. But yeah, so how did the test go so far? Really good, really good. The car is handling. So the suspension setup that we've put on it, I'm pretty happy with that. If it was a rougher rally, maybe we'd need to raise it a little bit, but I don't really think that's necessary for a stage like this. The back end feels a little bit loose, but I think if I put a spare wheel in the back, I might try that later on. I'm going to put a spare wheel in the back and get a little bit more weight. I haven't got a full tank, but I've got quite a lot of fuel in the tank, so that should be settling the back, but it's just a little bit loose. So I think I'll go for a spare wheel and just see if that balances it out a bit. I mean, I'm sacrificing a little bit more weight, but it should give me a little bit more grip. Right, we're sharing a test today with Steve Ward, who owns this Prodrive Legacy. Well, I say Prodrive Legacy, it is an exact copy of an original Prodrive Legacy. It's not a works car, but it's a very, very good copy. It's like exactly, it's built by ex-Prodrive engineers, so everything you see on it is how it would have been built back in the day. So we'll have a quick look round, might as well, seeing as we're here. Seeing as we're on the Subaru subject on some of our other videos, we've talked a lot about Imprezas on our videos. This was the predecessor to the Impreza, so the Legacy came out first. This is a Group A car, so this was nothing like the road car, really. It looks a little bit the same. Maybe the door handle's the same. Maybe that badge is the same, but not much else. Left-hand drive. All this is as it would have been in Prodrive. This colour even down to this little etching on here is the same. The stalk on here is all what they would have had in period. I'm not sure if even the steering wheel is pretty similar. So something slightly different on the Legacy to the Imprezas is they had this charge cooler on here, which was water cooled. The Impreza obviously had the big intercooler on there later on. All these pipes, even down to these pipes, exactly the same type of pipe they would have used in Prodrive. These connectors here, if you look down there, those connectors, that's all been replicated. There's the old chimney that they have on there. Some of the Imprezas have that too, which goes to that scoop there, sucks air in. So yeah, charge cooler, not intercooler. Much bigger strut tops to some of the cars that we've got. That's proper beefy stuff. Much wider track to a standard car. Big Group A wheels. All the hubs are different on it. I can't show you them because they're behind the wheel. But yeah, bigger brakes, massive big shock. I'm not going into that much detail because I don't know I haven't done any research, I'm doing this off the cuff because it's here on a test with us, so I'm thinking might as well have a look around it, haven't we? So have a look in there. Show you in the boot. So even this, look, these have been machined down, nice little pins. In the back, you got a big bag tank in the back, spare wheel here. These are quite heavy on the back end, so they do pendulum a little bit. So it's got the weight a little bit more forward there. Boot's quite heavy as well, but that's how it was. Come in and have a look. So yeah, we got all these little buttons here, which are like the Group A car would have been. You got a bias adjuster down here. This is a 5-speed Hewland gearbox, dog box. Very, very agricultural gearbox on this. And the back axle on these, the rear diff, is absolutely massive. It's not like this normal Subaru one. It looks more like a Massey Ferguson one, really big. Most of the buttons, I know what they do. There's a lot I don't. You've got a couple of pumps here, so you only need one, but obviously if one fails, you've got another one. Ignition. A lot of these are lights and fog, so when you've got your lamp pod on, you can use all that. You've got intercooler there. You've got the blower, you've got fans 1 and 2, you've got screen right and left, which is heated screen. You've got a radio, that'll be an auxiliary one. So you could have a CB in it potentially, which they would have back in the day before mobile phones. And then you've got a pretty simple dashboard, which has changed from a normal Legacy. Rev counter, boost pressure is the big one there. So that's not how fast you're going, that's how much boost you're producing, and that is a rev counter. And you got oil pressure light there, you got a shift light there, so for gear change. Air temperature, not sure why that's highlighted. Water temperature, obviously we need to know that. Alternator as well, if the alternator's failing, that light will come on. But I suppose the air intake, if it's too much, the temperature's too much, it won't work properly, so it tells you. Horn there, nice little button. This is slightly more modern, Motec, because back in the day it wouldn't have had Motec. So this has been changed to make it more reliable and more modern. Nice Monet trip there, and quite a simple dashboard. Just basically a shell, just the dashboard shell. These are quite cool as well. We've got one of these in one of our cars. These are proper Group A air vents. So you turn that little thing, and then you push it up, and then you've got a little flap then that goes up. I'm not going to do it to that one because I don't want to break anything, but this one's already up. Oh. No, Steve, I've broken your car already. But yeah, there we go. They do slide up, they're just a bit stiff. But that is a cool little thing to have, because that is period. That is like it should be back in the day. So a proper bit of 90s rally car. Little bonus footage for the episode. I love these door cards too, they're like proper period. So yeah, that was a quick, brief spin round the Group A Legacy. Quite good to see that going, you don't see many of those now. So you can see this going on the Malcolm Wilson rally. By the time this video goes out, that rally would have been done probably. But that's what he's doing next. And he does do Festival of Speed quite often, which still sporting the stickers from that. That is a successful test in the Micra. There it is in its gravel setup, working beautifully. You notice I haven't fixed the wing from when me and Billy went into some bales, but I've got another wing, so I'll sort that once before we do another rally. But I thought, seeing as we're testing today, just in case I hit it again, there's no point in changing that. Otherwise, yeah, that setup that I've done in the workshop works perfectly. I'm kind of going off stuff that I already know, so that does help. So I've just copied what I used to do, and it all works. Car handles nice, it's nicely balanced. I do want to sort out maybe getting a little bit more grip over the back end, but I would be happy to do a rally like that. So I need some thank yous now. I want to say firstly thank you to Jonathan from Sweet Lamb for letting us use the venue today, or to jump on with another group that are testing. Steve Ward in his Legacy, Geoff Jones, a good friend of mine who you saw helping me in the engine bay. He also made this happen, so I want to say thank you to all you guys. And yeah, so the next time you see the Micra will potentially be on a gravel rally. I'm not sure which one. It'll be later on in the year probably, because we've got a lot of things going on between now and then. But yeah, big re-prep now, big clean, fix all the little bits of damage from the last rally, and then yeah, I think we need to go and do a rally next, a gravel rally. So if you haven't liked or subscribed yet, I don't know why you haven't, because you need to. And yeah, just leave a comment below and I'll try and answer it if I can. Thanks for watching, bye bye.